That's
Yeah.
okay.
I forgot.
You forgot it's your film.
TV,
It can only be your film.
Ginger
Oh, yeah, cool.
Limit Wasted. Time for keep calm and drink tea. It just needs to be heated in a microwave. Just pour it into a microwave with a cup. Okay, so this film.
Why did you pick this thing?
Why did you make me unhappy? Why did you ruin my week?
Why is this
I
the
meant-
fifth pick in a row to include genital mutilation?
I mean, there was some mutilation.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah,
Certainly it wasn't.
a common theme here.
Oh,
So
the abuse to women as well, yeah.
yes, since you said that trivia, you probably might have already known this, but in Swedish, the film is called Men Who Hate Women.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes,
Interesting.
That's a much better title.
yes, and it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was pretty much this whole kind of book in a way, the kind of theme. In English, they kind of titled it "The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo" to kind of make it into a nice package with the girl who played with fire and the girl who kicked the hornet's nest.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway,
don't like that.
What did they call the sequels out of interest?
huh?
The sequels, what did they call those?
So
Men Who Hate Women 1, Men Who Hate Women 2.
Men who hate women with vans.
Men Who Hate Lots of Women.
Part 2.
I'll get into that after I just say why I picked it.
Okay.
So, I picked it because this is one of my favorite. Sorry, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
All right. This is one of my favorite book series, point blank. From I think from in like either GCSE age or sixth form. I can't remember. It must be sixth form or uni. It must have been, yeah, because it came out.
7.
2009.
Yeah.
So,
So it was around that kind of age anyway. But point is, like it was my favorite kind of book series. And when I saw this film with a director's cut anyway, it became my favorite book adaptation. And if you read the book, it's just done so well in terms of the pacing, the information they include or don't include, or the things that are mentioned in the book, but in the film, since it's not that important, you'll see it in passing, but you might not notice it that much unless you read the book. It'd be like, oh, they included that and that and that. And I just thought it was very well done for adaptation, and it has a place in my heart.
yeah.
Again, this is probably it's either the second or third time I've ever watched it. I think it's the third time. But yeah, we did skip the second wreck scene. For good reasons. But yeah. Going on to what you were saying, Ben. The second film, so it's in Swedish it's a bit different. So I was finished downloading now. The series of the 3 books, because it was a trilogy. There were more books that were meant to be made, but unfortunately after the 3rd book, the author died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wrote half the 4th book. Long story short, after a lot of rights issues. Yeah. Yeah. After a lot of rights issues between the family and the wife, they finally got a ghostwriter to finish the 4th book and then carry on the other books from his drafts and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just imagining if like I was a ghost and somebody was doing that to me and just like sitting there like, please don't, just leave it alone.
Don't try and rhyme surface with Cerberus.
But it's one of these classic things where it didn't really become big until after he died. The whole series, it really blew up like after he died. But the series of the books was called Millennium, which is the name of course, the magazine and the the magazine publication, and each title in that kind of series was a different title. So yes, the first one is Man Who Hates Women. The second one was Girl Who Played with Fire, which makes more sense because the scene where you see her as a kid throw the match into that car, that's her dad, and she set him on fire and killed him, which is why she ended up in the psych ward and why she ended up with a guardian in the first place at the age of 24 still. Otherwise, she would be in a psych ward. Her dad was utter trash. He was messed up. Has anyone watched the recent English remake of the fourth film, The Spider's Web? I think you have been.
It's just me, I think, here.
Okay.
No, I saw it as well, but I don't remember much of it.
Okay. Well, there was like a really bad guy in there who was like beating up women and like putting them in bags and like doing messed up stuff to them. If you remember that guy, that was her father. Anyway, so it ties into the whole Man Who Hates Women.
Spoilers.
So the second one was called The Girl Who Played with Fire, and then they kind of like they just went back and decided to rename the first in line with that.
Yeah.
Right.
The third one, I will say the name, it doesn't translate well. That's the mute button again. Sorry. So the third one translates as the air castle that was blown up.
I just like the idea of the execs being like, we can't call it that.
Yeah.
I get the gist of what you're going for here, Steve. But
yeah, it's the idea of a big corporation, a big kind of government kind of scandal, basically, that's blown wide open, where the doors are blown wide open and truly exposed.
Yeah,
it's one of the. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying, I understand what the idea of that title, in the essence of it, means is like putting down.
I think Hornet's Nest is possibly a better.
Why they renamed them all.
Yeah, it's probably like one of those sayings in Swedish that doesn't just translate. But yeah, Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, it kind of makes sense because in the third one, they're going against the Swedish government and the police force itself and like really exposing them. So it's a huge freaking deal, and they're all after the killer.
Yeah, it makes sense why they call it that.
And Hornet's Nests are typically sky castles that blow up, so I think it works.
Yeah. So the only title that doesn't make sense, but I get why they did it, was the girl with the dragon tattoo, because it was the most random one.
I would have liked to have seen the other titles that they came up with for that, like the girl with the passive-aggressive attitude.
The girl with the really big mohawk, I mean like really big.
The girl with the intimidating eyeliner.
The girl who bleached her eyebrows blonde.
The girl that kicked the dildo in the ass. Oh, what?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's what they should have called it. There we go.
I don't think it would have got too many views.
Well, it would have in different circles.
With that title, you probably would have picked it sooner.
What?
I said with that title, you probably would have picked it sooner.
Can we make that the title of the video? I love it. We got that recording.
Yeah, Emmanuel, I've got some questions. Like, you've picked a lot of films with this kind of theme. I was
saying the other day, man, your picks are like the furthest away from your character.
Yeah.
You've got like all these things about like rapes and genital mutations, and you're like the most wholesome person.
It's like you think it's like this ain't Emmanuel.
There's John who's like, oh fuck everybody, I heard everyone anyway. Here's Austin Powers and Greatest Showman. And there's you, and you're just like, anyway. This guy gets nuts chopped off. Oh my god.
Oh man, I guess it was a bit more violent than Memories of Murder.
A
Actually,
bit.
There was definitely less wanking, yeah.
There was a man nearly got hung.
I think in retrospect, Memories of Murder was quite cheery.
Yeah. I found the violence quite funny.
I mean, it's no Antichrist, but it's still up there.
No, anything. Like a benchmark.
I don't think anything could like beat Antichrist. That is messed up. I think like even for me, that's like the most messed up thing I see. That's why I wanted to share in the experience with you. I just didn't think it would be making Pat feel sick and he would nominate it as worst film. I don't blame him.
Do you know what
It makes
they
him feel sick every time he thinks about it. So
but when you picked this, Pat was saying about like how much he likes this film and like how he's a big fan of it and stuff. And I got like halfway through it and I was like, Pat, I don't understand how you can hate Antichrist so much but love this.
It ain't a nice film. It's just there's no bits of it that are like, I'm really enjoying this.
Come with me and you'll see a
The day I watched
world
it-
of rape and mutilation.
The day I watched it, right, Rachel went round her friend's house and I started it basically as she left and it ended as she got back. And she came into the front room and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No,
No, I just
I'm really not okay."
I
she
had
was like,
hair before I watched it.
She was like, "Oh, was the film not good?" And I was like, No, it was technically an all right film. I just feel miserable now.
oh, sorry, bro.
I do have my favourite scene in the film, but we'll get to that.
That's really sus now.
If you want,
I
we
was thinking about it on the way home.
If we want, we can get into it now. Like we don't have to do this in no order. Get into it then. You feel it. Say it.
Well,
go on, Humphrey. Why was the hideous rape your favourite scene? Let's go.
I could visualize myself in that character.
Oh man!
Oh no!
No one wants to handcuff Humphrey to a bed. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, if Cora walked in at that time, that'd be perfect. But anyway.
Yeah. So my favourite scene, I think it's got to be when he reunites them at the end. And I was just like, oh, it's just such a great moment.
Yeah, that
like
was
the fact that it's the fact that he sees her and he doesn't actually recognise her, and he's like, who the fuck's this woman? And he's like, you slowly see his face kind of change, and he's like, oh my god, it's you. It's such a great. So I think the thing that really gets it is the fact that when they're talking, like the murderer and the reporter, and he says about, oh yeah, she disappeared, and he's like, what? So you didn't murder her? It's like, no, she just disappeared. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, he wishes he did, which was messed up. His own sister.
Mm-hmm.
That he was worse than the dad in a lot of ways. That's what's the creepy part.
Yeah, she did say he was worse.
Yeah, so that was my favourite scene, was him actually seeing his niece.
I think the thing for me was like, by the time it got to that point, I was already like, I don't know why anybody in this has any motivation to live.
The nicest part of the film.
No, it probably is the nicest part of the film, but by that point, I was like, I wouldn't want to be around for this.
The thing is that I really like that type of film where like it's like the murder mystery. I really like them films, but I don't really. The subject matter was just no. It's too
really heavy.
Too much.
Because I would say, sorry, man.
Yeah, because like murder mysteries, I could watch all day and I really like them. But yeah, when it was the subject matter is just like, yeah, this is not nice. And this is why I was sitting there thinking, Manuel's picked all these films that are very similar. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, you are sitting there saying that I didn't pick Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
That's just on the same level for me.
I think that's more of it's like a social commentary compared to this is where
Yeah.
This is a bit more realistic.
I also think compared to this, The Clockwork Orange looks quite whimsical.
Yeah, it is very whimsical.
Whimsy.
But no, I think like another thing for me was that like the sort of how good the technicalities were kind of added to the misery. Like it, like Lisbeth, the actress who played her was really good, but she was good to the point where I was like, you poor woman. Like, I just felt so bad for her that I was like,
You can see that's why she's such a great character, because you can see why she's so miserable, the way everyone treats her. It's just like, oh, that's why she's so aggressive and passive aggressive as well. It's just like her like frustration and her anger is all kind of like internal, but at the same time she has these outbursts as well, which she totally understand.
And you only know the tip of the iceberg of what she's been through. Like as you go through the other books or films and whatnot. So if you really wanted to, you can watch the other ones. The other ones aren't like anywhere it is like violent and like kind of on that level as this one. The other ones are not like a murder mystery. They're more about espionage.
And the character study of Elizabeth.
Yeah, character study and espionage and taking down corrupt powers, basically. And how hers, hackers, and journalists and investigations kind of all tie into this. So it's a very different feel, the other kind of books and films. But yeah, the stuff she went through growing up with her father, who was a dick, but also like a trash guy, but also a KGB spy as well. And there's just so much going on. Like it's like she has almost no friends, really. She's had almost no one. She's also a high-level functioning sociopath as well. So when it comes to connecting to people, it becomes very hard as well. And there's just a lot that goes against that's not going for her, basically. Yeah. So with Blomqvist, it's one of the kind of few people she's formed this kind of connection with, who she also thinks is a decent guy. Yeah, he's kind of dumb, but he's honest. Yeah, it's like a little kind of a nickname, because she doesn't mean it in a mean way. It's just like, yeah, he's an idiot, but he's an honest, kind of simpler idiot who also wants to take down the same people as her. And you see this as the stories progress and stuff, how their relationship develops. Like there'll be these huge figures and lots of people would be scared to go against these people. But he's like, no, I'll go against them. I don't care. Like they need to be exposed. And she also feels the same way, but she's also much smarter. So she's just like, you know what? I can be in the background. You can be in the public eye. We can be a good team and do this together. And how they develop in further films is quite cool. So
I'm tempted to watch the rest of them because
you should.
I liked the actual storytelling in it, the way it was structured, and it actually I find it like I struggle to kind of watch TV series unless they're really compelling, and I watched the Preacher, and that was fucking messed up as fuck. But I really enjoyed it. Was kind of so macabre that kind of it resonated with me a little bit. I don't know why, probably because I'm macabre. But yeah, so I really wanted to watch it. Whereas other shows, if it doesn't really grip me, a bit like The Mandalorian, where it's like, oh, this is just another Star Wars film.
Preach it, brother, preach it.
Well, it's not that it's really bad. It's just the fact of
no, it is.
I watched 2 episodes and I was like, yeah, okay.
This is really, really bad,
and I need to watch it because I paid for Disney Plus to watch it. So
you know that Rob has his Disney Plus borrowing.
Oh no, seriously, I got it before it came out in the UK. I got the discounted price, and then I end up not watching.
Oh really?
That's okay. Life's too short.
I know.
Yeah, you
You
can.
got
I
Boba
think
Fett
you
on
can
there
watch
as well.
Loki as well after that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
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 Really waste your time.
No. There's a ton of great stuff though.
Throw your life away.
You really don't like it, do you?
No, fucking
Oh,
hate it.
man. But sorry again that it made your week miserable, Rob. I did not intend that.
That's all right. It happens.
He is generally.
The subject matter isn't exactly quite a grim thing.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that it's not like, you know, how like Antichrist is regarded to be like an extreme film. Like, I'm surprised this isn't like one of those films that people go, that's a rough watch.
Because it is really rough. It's not just like there's certain scenes that are rough, like the whole storyline, the characters, their backstories is fucked. It is a yeah, I can understand. I wouldn't show it to my family members.
I mean, that's why I was like, don't watch it with
Come on,
any,
man.
like, young people or your parents.
Ironically, my mum and dad actually like this. This is the second time they've seen it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not surprised. It's a great film. It's just, I think it's because of how it handles it, and that's the thing about this film. Like every kind of bad action kind of gets repaid in a way.
Yeah,
So
that's why it works, because she gets her own back and she actually treats
from
the aggressors with equal aggression.
Exactly.
I think that's kind of what I found like quite depressing about it though, because like I think the whole situation with her new guardian and stuff, and he's like abusing her and everything, and her plan has to be, I'm gonna let him abuse me again so I can video it, and then that all happens and stuff, and then she's like, yeah, and now I'm gonna blackmail you, and you've got a tattoo on your belly, and yeah, I win, and I'm like, I don't think anyone really won.
I think
Outfits,
the
like,
thing
this is
about
it's
that
all been
is-
pretty grim throughout, actually. Like this is,
I think
I'm
the
not like,
thing about
wee.
that scene is that it wasn't supposed to be as bad as she thought it was going to be. It
Yeah.
was the fact that she went there thinking, oh, it's going to be the same as last time. I can take that and it won't be so bad. But then it was even worse.
Well, like that's the thing. That the fact that she has to think like that, she can't just go, I'll report this to someone. She has to resort to, I'm gonna have to let him abuse me at least one more time so I can record it. And it's like, that's pretty fucking rough, actually. And then we get all that, and it's like, I don't think anyone came away like that victorious. Like, I'm not going like, this was such a big fucking victory here. I'm just kind of like, oh well.
I think
I'm glad he got his comeuppance, but this is rough.
In that kind of situation who've been abused, it's kind of an extreme thing they do, if that makes sense. It's kind of, instead of doing anything the right way, because if she's been fouled by the system and fouled by people and let down and people have trodden on her, she's going to do extreme things, like the fact that, like, when the drunk people throw beer on her, and she fights back. Like most people would go like, oh, fuck off, and they'd like walk away instead of actually fighting back against them people when they're like, what the fuck. It's kind of a common thing with people that have been abused or have had trauma in their life, is to be a bit more hostile and kind of retaliate in kind of extreme situations. But
and that's how she had to survive. I mean, you wouldn't have seen it in this film. It was in a bit of the fourth film, but the fact of how there was the abuse and stuff that she had to witness and that they went through, and her mom went through, and other random women went through, and just a lot of things she was surrounded by growing up. And if she did not fight back, she would not survive. And she made that choice. I'm going to fight, and I don't care like what it takes. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna be strong and be there for myself, because no one else can protect me. And that's one of the really cool things about her character, about how strong she is, like despite everything she's gone through. And but yeah, one of the interesting things I find, and this is more about the actors, the actors and the kind of production side of things. I'm gonna talk about the remake, the David Fincher one that I
you're gonna hate me because I actually prefer it to the Swedish
the
version.
Daniel Craig one.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
I
Me-
also
me-
prefer it.
Huh?
I also
What?
prefer it.
Is it less grim?
Don't
Well,
hurt me.
man.
I'll talk about why
Man.
after, but yeah.
I swear, me and John feel the same about this, and I think he actually walked out.
Yeah, but John hasn't seen the original though. He doesn't
No,
really
no.
count.
No, he does count.
It doesn't count, man. It doesn't
Yeah,
count.
but if he saw this, I'm sure you'd hate it too.
Ain't got Keanu Reeves in it. That would have made it completely
No.
different if it had Keanu Reeves in that.
That's not how it works, Ben.
What?
It was a bad. It was a. Oh
I think you just hate David Fincher. I think that's why
No,
you
I
hated
don't.
Severed as well.
that's the thing, though.
I was
People remember.
really like, oh man, Emmanuel hates David Fincher and John hates Daniel
No.
Craig. This is like a perfect storm. This is all coming together.
Everything else he's made that I've seen, I've freaking loved it. Gone Girl, which had a similar approach and style compared to his Dragon Tattoo film. Seven, all the other films, Fight Club, the music videos he tends to make, like everything he tends to do, I really like. And that's why I was hyped for the film. It's like Steven Spielberg or someone great making a film. And you normally know it's either gonna be great or good. But
Funny you say that as like the second most person who hates the Spielberg picks.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you've downrated every Spielberg pick so far.
True, but I don't actually personally like his stuff that much. But that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, anyway, I'll get back to that. But what was I about to say? Sorry,
Fincher. It's like someone really great making it.
So I'll say the great things about it. Actually, just before that, I'll say the great things about it first, before I get into my complaints, because I know this is not what the call is about, but I'm also interested in what you guys like about it, because I haven't talked about this. But so in terms of the actors, I wonder if the actor Rooney Mara was inspired by Naomi Rapace. So basically, Rooney Mara did some similar things in terms of preparing for the role, but Naomi Rapace, she prepared for about 6 months, similar in a way to what's it called when someone similar to the guy in Lincoln, they live the role.
Method acting.
Yeah. So it's a light version of method acting, but she did it in a kind of similar method acting type way. So for 6 months, she changed her diet, she changed her habits, she changed a lot of things about what she does, the way she dresses. She pierced her eyebrow and nose. She also got a motorcycle license and started riding a motorcycle around. The motorcycle that she was riding was discontinued randomly shortly after the film. It's like an iconic Swedish one, I think. I don't know much about motorcycles, but anyway. Point is, she did a lot to prepare for that role and live that life before she did it, which I think shows in I think one of you guys was saying like how she was so good in the role. She really put everything into that. And I think Rooney Mara did do some similar stuff as well. And I don't know how much she was inspired by them, but I did love the casting for the English one. The cinematography was freaking beautiful. I really liked and respected how they shot it, a lot of it in Sweden, in parts of the same locations or locations that were similar or nearby. And I thought, that's great. That's how you remake something and not completely alienate it from the original culture and things that was part of that. And I thought that was really great. But one thing I'll say, because I was working in the cinema when this was playing, a lot of people walked out
Really?
of this film. Like
The original.
The David Fincher remake, not the original. Yeah. Like I was to be honest, I was in Thurrock, so Lakeside and Essex and whatnot. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
Let's go get some
Sound about-
chips, Bobby, rather than watching this.
Yeah, it's not that. It's can't be bothered.
This ain't an action film.
a lot of
explosions that.
Yeah, a lot of mainstream cinema goers hated it, and a lot of people walked out of it
Because it was too edgy, like John would say.
I don't know, maybe, but the reasons I was gonna say about it, and I normally like his film style again, and he did similar things in Gone Girl, which worked so well, especially with the actors and everything. But he has this more in the more recent times. He has a more minimal style to his kind of cinematography and filmmaking and stuff, and a kind of muted feeling to a lot of things, which can really work. And this had a different vibe and feeling the way he did it compared to the original, which at first I was loving. I especially love the intro, the music. I mean, I don't have to say much.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, me and Rob love them as much as you, I think. So
Yeah,
that's the best thing about the remake, hands down.
It just sounds like nonsense words to me.
And the music, good. It's good. You know?
yes.
Yeah.
And I was remembering going to see them in concert with you guys, which was amazing. 9 Inch Nails. But anyway, one of the things he did was he slowed down the pace extremely slow. And this was one thing that grated on me. In the film, halfway through, it felt like a 4-hour film, even though it wasn't. Halfway through, I wanted to walk out myself. I didn't, because I really wanted to see how he did it, because I really loved the story. But I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to keep watching it. I was like, why are you making it this slow and this like much of a drag? This is not the pace of the book. And the thing is, the book and the original film is there's always something happening. And it's always in a certain kind of pace and stuff. And the film, it was just so slow. And I was just like, I was bored.
I think I can see what you mean there, actually, because I think the big difference between the two is that in the Swedish one, it's kind of just like, it's almost like one thing after the other's happening, and it's all just like, it's just kind of like building misery throughout it.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in the Fincher one, like he does kind of, he kind of lets you lean into it a little bit more, and you start kind of thinking like, okay, what's this referring to, and like, who's this person, before you actually see anything. But I think that's the reason I preferred it, is because where you've got that tension in the Fincher one, that distracts from the misery. So I was I had much more fun with it.
I was about to say something similar. Like I preferred the Fincher one purely because like we get more like Lisbeth comes into it significantly like later in the story. So having Mikhail trying to piece together who's who, and he's working out the geography of the island and stuff, and he's like having conversations with multiple people, like members of the Vanga family, and that I found that I found that better, because I can because you're unfamiliar with the setting, having him also be unfamiliar and having to work everyone out, I was like, yeah, but this is a kind of nice pace for me. We're going to check out this guy, we're going to check out this guy, and like Mikhail's interactions with them flesh him out more. So I was like, nice. Whereas in the Swedish version, Lisbeth comes in a lot earlier. There's not a lot of the family. There's more than I gave it credit for on the first go, but like there's still not as much. It's primarily, like, I'd say 70% of it is just Mikhail and Lisbeth.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's nice to give them time together, but I ended up feeling like both of them were a little bit kind of flat, I guess. Whereas with the Fincher one, because I'd seen him interact with so many people, by the time
Yeah.
Lisbeth came in, she was a little bit weirder, and I understood him a bit more. So
Yeah, that's a really good comparison for it, I think, because in the Swedish one, it's kind of just like, yeah, here she is, she's being a dick to this corporate guy. And whereas in the Fincher one, you've got the two corporate guys, and it's like, oh yeah, she normally works for. Are you sure you want to meet her? I mean, it's better if she works from home, and we've told her that. And like you're kind of invited to be going like, oh, why does she work from home? Like, what's wrong with her? And like, yeah, it just I found it a lot more engaging personally.
and that's something that I preferred about the Rooney Mara Elizabeth, because she seems to be putting a lot more work into looking off-putting. Like, she's bleached her eyebrows, she's got a bowl cut, she's like piercings out to here, and like she in the Swedish version, Elizabeth is following Mikhail, and after she's done the job, she's following his computer, seeing what's happening, and I'm like, I don't know why she'd have an interest in him necessarily. Like, he's just a job to her, surely. And if she's like antisocial, like an antisocial, like computer genius as well, she then gives him, I don't know, she like sees he's trying to work something out on his computer, and then she sends him the answer on an email he can track. And I was like, you're giving me conflicting things of what you're trying to establish. Whereas in the American version, he works it out by talking to Dershfrode. Or like Dershfrode recommends her, sorry. Like, he just needs another assistant. But it's not until like he shows up and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he's like, I want you to help me catch a killer of women. And she's like, okay, fine. And it's like, that seems like a stronger characterization to me, because he's not even like an element to her for the first like half of the film, until he's literally like at her door. So I thought that was a stronger way to go, oh, Lisbeth is antisocial. Lisbeth doesn't, if she doesn't want to be found, she won't be. But Mikhail's also quite a bit cleverer in the Fincher one. So again, it just seems like a stronger characterization of both of them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. That does. I get why I get that side of it and why you like it more. And I also realized something while you was both speaking. I think part of it is probably because of me reading the books.
Yeah.
And I think because of how much I like the book and how much I already seen an adaptation that was spot on, that of a book I already loved, I think that's probably what really did it for me. Because it's just like, wait, why are you doing it so differently? Because I think it was, I like different, but I think there were certain things that just really put me off. So after the kind of pacing stuff, one little thing was I was really confused at his choice. If someone knows, you can tell me why, but why he chose when they were breaking into the Harold's house, why did they choose to go with no sound or music for such a long time?
And they're breaking into Harrods.
And also, how did you guys feel with that?
Wait.
Yeah, no, I get you on that one actually, because that was something that did kind of, I don't know, I suppose it's quite different to what you would usually sort of, expect from a scene like that. So it did kind of flag up as weird. I don't know if I'd necessarily say it was a bad thing, but yeah, I was kind of going like, no, that's a bit strange. But
sorry, I wasn't quite sure on the names, but like who's which one's Harold? Is he the
Nazi bloke?
The Nazi
the Nazi old guy that's still alive.
Yeah.
Breaking it in the David Fincher, I'm not sure if it's Harold's or the Sons or like Martin's, but it's a really modern looking apartment. He drives up in a car, and that whole long scene, he's trying to be as quiet as possible. But I was kind of expecting there to be like even little kind of specks of sound, or a really, really light footstep, like very, very quiet, or maybe you hear something outside or a car, but it felt alienating. And I was just like, wait, what?
I guess that's probably why it needs to sound a bit eerie, I guess, like you're unsettled.
But I wasn't
being in this person's house. Oh.
I was just confused. Because it's like watching something. At first, I thought, was there a problem with the cinema? You saw the car drive up, but
Excuse me, sir, your cinema's broken.
Yeah, you saw the car drive up, but you heard no sound. You saw the door close, but you heard no sound. You saw him walking, but you heard no sound. Like suddenly there was no wind. All the crickets and animals in the night didn't exist. And I was just like, it doesn't need to be loud, but what happened?
You're right. This Fincher film's a sham. 0 out of 10.
What I'd liken it to is in The Exorcist when Father Karras' mum dies. Like it's a similar sort of feeling of, oh, that's weird. Like, but, yeah.
Oh, that's a funny comparison. But that was a little thing. I was just wondering if any of you guys knew why. Because I know he does everything for a reason. And that's why I like pretty much all his other stuff. I really like his work. I was just confused at that point. But there were two things that a lot of people complained about online as well. So one was how he made it anticlimactic.
Oh, but that's in the book, though. Well, oh, sorry, wait, hang on. Which bit do you mean?
The bit where he's about to die, he's hanging, and Salanda comes and saves him.
Salanda.
And yeah, great character, great name. And in the book, in the Swedish kind of film, the build up in how that climactic scene, it felt exactly like that, and it's great, and I love it, and I think I was looking forward to that so much. And in the film, okay, here's the best explanation of it. I felt the same way I did at the end of the Harry Potter films. At how he made that anticlimactic. It didn't feel like a celebratory in that film. It didn't feel climactic. It was kind of like, oh, okay, cool, I just saved you. Let's kind of go.
Done is done kind of thing. A bit like blasé kind of thing.
Yeah, I was just like, wait, what? Why did you do that?
Can I just say, I really appreciate in that scene that in the Swedish version, she is investigating something and she realizes it's Martin, goes back to the apartment first, doesn't go to Martin's house. And I was like, nice, thank you for that. That's really clever. You wouldn't, even if you suspected him, you wouldn't go and try and get him alone. She goes to get Mikhail, but he's not there. And I thought, lovely. American version, she does the exact same fucking thing. And I was like, yes, thank you so much. I was so concerned. I was like, please don't fucking just show up here. Like, no fucking chance.
Yeah, it makes logical sense that that's what she did, and that's why it works so damn well, because it builds the tension in both versions, because it's like, oh shit, she's not going to make it in time kind of thing, because it's like, this is a race against time to get him before he dies.
Because I was having trouble in the Swedish version, because like I was about to dock a point for he just leaves all the doors open, like Martin, he leaves all the doors open, and I was like, if he fucking decided to lock the doors of his fucking sex dungeon that anyone can just walk into, you're fucked. But watching the American one, I was like, oh, his house is actually like quite remote. It's like up in the middle of like the woods. You wouldn't necessarily like, and then he's got like a guard like on staff while Lisbeth is like researching stuff, and he's supposed to alert him when she leaves. He happens to be away from the terminal when he leaves, so he doesn't give him the notification. But I was like, the way that's shot, he looks way more remote. That's way more believable that he wouldn't lock the door. Why would anyone come up there? In the Swedish version, you just get like a really close shot of his house. It just looks, it sounds pedantic, but like watching it again, I was like, I guess I could kind of believe that it's remote, but like, I think it's just a case of like the camera. The way you've decided to shoot this makes it look like he's quite close in with everybody.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. But like, I'm like, okay, there's nothing here that says like he's not remote, so I'm guessing like it's meant to be remote. They just didn't shoot it to.
Yeah, because you think when they kind of pan, instead of going from like a wide shot where you can see everything into the house, it's kind of like, this is his house, here's someone else's house, you don't really see that kind of movement around.
So there's an example of camera work kind of creating a plot hole. But I ended up giving both like I think I gave the American one like a 10 for story, and I gave this one a 9. But like that doesn't feature into it. It was slower, but I was like, no, okay, that could be remote, and that's why he's not. So that was quite nice, actually. Just kind of going, oh, okay, that's how that's supposed to be. They just chose not to film it that way for some reason.
That was a good thing about the David Fincher one. The cinematography and the camera work, and he did in that way give more, like, you got a more feeling of where you were in the environments and how everything was, rather than location.
Well, he tells him, like, Vanga goes, okay, Daniel Craig, that's his house, that's his house, that's her house, that's her house, that's his house. And I was like, cool. And I'm getting a sense of the geography. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't actually watch the extended version of this. So, like, feel free to correct me. But we don't have like an equivalent of that. He just starts talking to him about other stuff, and he doesn't say where anybody is situated. And I was like, okay, that really could have helped me out.
Yeah, he doesn't in the Swedish versions, even in the extended one, he doesn't either.
Okay.
He more takes him there. So he takes him physically to the places, but he doesn't actually say where they are. But I think it was because in the Swedish one, they was trying to put so much more from the books in the film that it probably felt more rushed, and there was less kind of detail in it compared to the David Fincher one in that way.
Which I think is funny, because I feel like the Fincher one is like the richer experience. I feel like the Swedish one's like kind of the a lot flatter version.
Fair enough.
Just misery and not telling you where people's houses are. Just
oh man. But yeah, going back, no, that's all right. But yeah, going back to the anticlimactic scene, well, for me anyway, I think one of the reasons as well why I was so kind of disappointed or annoyed was because it's one of my favorite scenes, or it is my favorite scene. So in the Swedish one, when she saves him, because especially in the book, it felt more drawn out, and because it's going slower, and you know he's not the smartest guy or whatnot, and you know how important Salander is to everything being found out, you actually think he's going to die. You're like, he might actually die. Like, you don't believe that, you don't fully believe that this guy has plot armor, even though he's gone through this. He, as a main character, he might actually die. And the fact that he doesn't, and it's like, oh, I'm alive. And then after that, she burns him, or lets him burn to death in the same way she burnt her father to death. I was like, that's symmetry. That's great. But yeah, that's my favorite scene. Yeah, exactly that. And one last thing, but it wasn't my main complaint. I didn't like it. And I think as time has gone on, I've disliked it more and more. But basically, a lot of people online, or a lot of women specifically, were really annoyed at how, at the end of the David Fincher one, they felt like that he betrayed Salanda's character. So obviously in the Swedish one, she's kind of just like, all right, I'm nearby, I'm gonna go see him. And then she sees him with Erika, of course, and then she's like, whatever. And then just leaves.
She smokes and just like, of course, and then just walks off.
Yeah. And that's very much her character. It's take it or leave it. If it's that, whatever, I'll just deal with it. But in the English one, or the Western one, she gets a gift, and just to get a card as well. It like, she makes a lot of effort for someone who's never done that in their life. It was, I'm like, Camilla, can you explain it? Like the kind of part at the end where she got, in the David Fincher when she got a gift.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like that would make sense because she's not a person who's ever had anyone do that for her. She hasn't been socialized to do that. And if she's a sociopath, that's not really a thing that's probably going to be in her nature to do either. Like, you don't, someone who's like, don't fall in love and also just doesn't tend to have friends, no one's ever been friendly to her, is it going to then start doing friendly gestures as if like
Yeah,
means her?
I took that as a mark of like the effect that he did have on her. Like he is that significant that she actually went, I'm gonna buy that guy a jacket. And then he's like just hanging out with someone else, and she's like, you know what? Fuck the jacket. He can fuck himself. You jacketless bitch.
I mean, people like her don't change their nature that easily, though. Like, he's not gonna have that big an effect on her.
I mean, I feel like I feel like the movie's pretty, big, like in terms of stuff happening. Like they save each other's lives quite a lot. She like lends him. She even goes. I mean, I'm only going on the American version because I didn't watch the extended of the Swedish. But like, she goes as far as to call him like a friend and stuff. So, I don't know. I feel like there's enough that's happened that.
Yeah, she doesn't call him a friend in the Swedish one. The extended cut, she doesn't either. Doesn't she?
Okay. No, she never says it outright like that. No, because it's always Michael Blomkvist that's always like talking to her rather than her talking to him, kind of thing. Yeah. So he's the one that says how much he appreciates her help and her support, but she's the one that just sits there in silence and just nods. That's about it.
Okay, fair enough.
Well done, me.
Yeah, I think
I can't speak on the extended version because I only saw the Swedish normal one, and then I couldn't find the pirate again. So I was forced to watch the dub on Amazon, and I was like, oh no.
Even though the extended cut is for free on iPlayer.
Yeah.
I haven't got a TV license.
Yeah, but you could just like lie like most people.
No, watch it, you'll be fine.
You say that, Ben. I can't lie. I'm not.
Yeah, but if you can use iPlayer,
I think you can use iPlayer as long as you don't watch live TV.
Yeah.
Oh,
like if you can say like, oh, I've downloaded something illegally, but I'm not gonna lie about.
Yeah, that's much of a muchness.
Yeah, so you might as well go for what.
I am a pirate.
But seriously, it'll be fine. As a one-off, you'll be fine. It's more if you're using BBC iPlayer all the time, every day, they're going to be like, okay, you might as well pay us. Like, what are you doing?
It's like if that was watching BBC Sport all day without paying for the TV license.
Gotcha.
That's when they would be sending you letters going, okay, dude, you need to, that's not right.
Actually, does anyone else in your house, Alex, do they watch the TV at all?
What, Ebony?
No.
No.
Do you have anyone else? You live in a flat, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, because generally the TV license is based on your address.
Yeah.
So if you've got someone in the building.
I'm not wearing a dress.
Don't call me Shirley.
Someone in the building who has a TV license, you can probably go over that.
That's all right.
You have to bleep all this out, Rob.
Oh yeah.
I don't think the BBC are going to come after us. And if they do, then we've succeeded.
If we do, then that means we've got a third view.
Yeah.
I mean, saying that, they took all my sister's Tracy Beaker videos off when she was younger in her YouTube days.
Really?
Fucking wankers.
Oh man.
So she was uploading, not like, it's just like a few sections here or there. There's just like, nah, take that down.
People like that are why Doctor Who's a load of shit now.
That's not the reason.
Oh, it's not the reason, but
I might as well be.
Well, I'm not here for facts, Humphrey.
Oh man.
Sorry.
But yeah, basically there were a lot of people complaining about that online, and there was a lot of, well, I heard mostly women complaining about it myself, but there was a lot of people complaining about it, and it might be people who had read the books as well, but the fact that Camilla picked up on that as well, even though she hadn't read the books, so I was just like, Oh, you read the fourth one. Yeah. We read the fourth book, The Spiderweb, together.
Mm.
But I think it was just one of those things. There was a lot of people who felt it was a betrayal of a character and didn't understand why he did that. It was just like, that makes her character, people were complaining it made her character weaker. It wasn't just
I don't think it makes her weaker. I think it just doesn't seem like it's what that person would do.
I especially find that weird how she's characterized in the Swedish version, where she like kind of initiates contact with him. Like Rooney Mara seems like the way more antisocial one of the two portrayals, but considering Lisbeth actually like kind of involves herself off her own back, that seems like less of a problem now if she's already doing that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was, I think I get what you mean. It's one of those things, like, she gets involved, and I'm sure it's clearer in the book than it is in the film, but she gets involved because she wants to bring down the evil
Sky
men.
Castle.
Yeah. Just like she says, and it's a key line in the film, she's like, but Martin is an evil mother who hates men. Who hates women. Sorry. And that's like a really, sorry.
Hate men.
Men who hate men.
Yeah, that's John's autobiography.
But yeah, she says like he's an evil man who hates women, and it's like a really key line in that film because, of course, the title, "Man Who Hates Women," and she knows about like some of the truth, or the hint of the truth, or thinks about it, and she wants to help him take these people down, similar to how she probably would have helped him eventually anyway. And this is kind of, it's more foreboding or whatnot, or a kind of hint to her character that you learn further on in the different stories, which I think you'll find interesting, Dan. But like the Venestrom case, or
What?
So he just reacted like a fucking meerkat, and it just caught me.
I was reading something. Sorry.
But I'll just say, I think you'll like it. But like the whole Venestrom case, obviously they didn't go too deep in it, but at the end you realize how much he was involved with cartels and gangs and different things around the world. That was hard. That was really bad. And even if she didn't really know him that much, she was investigating more into him and hacking his computer and stuff, because she wanted to really bring this guy down, but she didn't want to be the public face who brought him down. And she knew Mikkel would bring him down if he had the information or the stuff given to him. So,
she doesn't seek glory, she seeks justice more than anything. So being the face of something like that is not really her style. She's more like, I want to fuck this person over, but everyone can see it, and I don't really want to be. She's not a public person, so yeah.
What were
which again I think does kind of work better for Rooney again, because she looks a little bit like an alien. So given someone who's known for having bleached eyebrows, a wig, and fucking piercings, and then she suddenly looks like a supermodel, like that I don't know. I feel like that's way better than Numi Rapace just taking her makeup off and putting a wig on. Because like the camera's like right on her face as well when like Mikhail sees it, and I was like, man, that's right on your face. Like,
she's supposed to have stolen money. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. She's supposed to have stolen like loads of money, and then you can clearly see who it is. And then she walks out in public with the same fucking outfit on. You're like, what?
Like Rooney's got like big fucking sunglasses on, and I was like, yeah, that seems to work. That seems to work a little bit better. This person would like look. I don't know. She seems more suited to like, I don't want to say shape shifting, but she looks better suited to changing her appearance and getting away, because she like already looks quite alien So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can make herself look like undesirable, like you said earlier. It's like with when she has her eyebrows missing, she looks gaunt and strange and weird and alien. Whereas Numa Rapace still looks looks pretty in a lot of
She's a
ways.
doll.
She looks
They're
like
not weird.
she's still really attractive. And but in terms of like the glow up kind of thing, it makes more of a stark difference.
yeah.
That's true. I forgot about that. Camilla pointed out, like, at the end, she's like, what is she wearing?
Wait, what, in the-
Stop walking the shoes.
Bring out my leather fucking jacket.
Oh, you know what?
Looks like I've been trying to like be inconspicuous because it just looks so
You know what got me with the Swedish one is when she's on the bike and she's wearing blue, and I'm like, this is so out of character. Like
This
she
is
wears
so
blue
what?
leathers.
Blue is out of character for you, Lisbeth.
Like you're just wearing black all the time and you wear blue leathers. It's like what? That is not how
I thought in the
gospel
Swedish
works.
version she steps out into Panama and she's like, glad I got my brown leather fucking coat on. And I was like, what are you doing?
I don't know. Maybe it's a Swedish thing.
the costume is awful.
The costume.
The whole costume is terrible.
A lot I did as Sweden. Just Swedish people think that everywhere's like just as cold. Like you're just like, no, people in Panama wear jackets. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I must admit there was one bit that's like it's ridiculous, but I'm gonna say it. So there's a scene where I forget his name, even though we've said it loads of times tonight. The guy, like the main guy in it,
Mikhail.
Michael.
Mikhail. Yeah. So there's a scene.
Just do as many consonants as you can. Mikhail Blomqvist.
It's played by Michael Lindqvist.
Blomqvist.
There's a scene where like he's wearing like a white t-shirt and a blue jumper, and the blue jumper has like a v-neck and you can just see the white t-shirt underneath it, and I just kept looking at this like little V of white t-shirt thinking that is such a depressing thing to wear.
Trainers got me. These trainers look really shit, and I was like, why would you wear these trainers? They look really awful. And he's wearing, he's like he'd put like tape around his feet. He had like white and black tape wrapped around his feet. They were just like blocks.
This is the height of film criticism here. Like your trainers, they're really shit.
It was like the thing that I noticed the most was her blue leathers and these awful trainers that he went running in. But,
Oh, that's so funny. The thing that's, oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. The thing is that literally the way he dressed in the film epitomizes his character. That literally exactly how his character is.
Personification of Middlesbrough.
I that's why I think in Fincher one he's a bit better defined. Like he's actually got it's not a riot, but like he's got a little bit of like a sardonic kind of sense of humor, and it's like, oh yeah, I mean, of course that fucking happened. And it's like I actually laughed a couple of times at the things he said, and I was like, yeah, I like this guy. Whereas like it's not, I don't think it's because Nick, how do you say Nyqvist?
Nicholas.
Nick Fist.
Nick Fist. His portrayal. I don't think it's his fault, but like I don't think they gave him a lot to. He is just like, okay, you just wear a V-neck and you just kind of the protagonist. And that's all we give. That's all we're giving you. And he's like,
it looked like it was made in the 90s because though their clothing was very 90s based.
I just
it's meant to be.
I somehow found Craig a bit more expressive and a bit more personality, personable.
John would disagree.
That was partly why I
no,
marked it down a little bit on
it's
production.
It is 1996 in the film.
That is not a 1996 laptop.
The phones were indications. Right?
That's
2006.
That's fairly like Apple's still using that design laptop now. In 1996, they're still on like the colourful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
1996, I'd have been 3.
His laptop is like nostalgia for me because he's got a bloody app. His Mac. I think it's the same year that mine was made, and it makes the same noise. It had the same kind of icons.
It looks like the one I have in 2012.
Yeah, the OS is very similar.
Yeah.
Mine's a bit more updated than that. But I was like, wow, I remember that OS.
Yeah.
When Apple was good and not fucking overpriced and shit.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's just the clothing's just quite small.
But that was part of the reason that I marked it down on production a bit. Like not specifically like his V-neck, but just everything in it. I was like, I feel like I'm watching this film through dishwater.
I can't lie.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's a great one. I don't blame you. I mean, I think it doesn't age well in that respect. You still probably would have felt the same 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's very deliberate. Like it's definitely an artistic choice, but I was like, this is getting me down.
Oh, also, I just want to say this isn't like related to anything necessarily, but I thought the choice in the Fincher one that Harriet is pretending to be Anita in London was like way stronger than Harriet is hiding out in Australia and he just fucking finds her. Like,
yeah,
he's like driving through the outback and he just goes like, "You're Harriet Vanga," and she's like, "Yoish," and I was like, "Get out!" No way.
Oh, maybe it doesn't show it in that version.
I'm pretty sure the Australian is like the bit what happened in the book. I just think her being in London's way better. Like,
yeah, I get you. That it does make sense. Basically what happened in the Swedish one or the extended one, Lisbeth Salander found out information, or they found out information eventually that there was two people by the same name. And one of them had died in London and the other one was still alive in Australia. Yeah. And basically he had an address to go to. So he didn't find her. He just went to the address. And then he just asked the only lady there he saw, are you Harriet Vanga?
That'd have been great though if she just rocked up in Australia and he went, "Are you Harriet Vanga?" And he's like, "All right, Ken, no. I'm not Harriet fucking Vanga." I hope Pep never sees this. She's gonna crucify me.
With an Australian accent.
Yeah, it's bad.
Crucified by an Australian accent.
Wait, who sees this?
Eb.
Oh
shit.
She hates my Australian accent because I keep going, "Yeah." Yeah. She's like, "You sound like a fucking idiot."
Oh man. But I get you. I do get you with that.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense that she would be in Australia. I just I just think it's a bit stronger if she's in London. Like it just seems a bit like, I don't know.
But the thing is, she's only 14 when she leaves. The age she's.
I feel like for a 14-year-old with like, I don't know, limited funds.
Yeah, how the fuck do you get to Australia?
Yeah, you need like, I don't know. When we went, it was like about $2,000. I don't know how much it would be in like 1990 whatever. Oh no, she's not even in fucking 1990 whatever. She's in 1965. So I don't even know how much that would be. But like, I'd find it easier to believe she got into London than Australia. At that age.
I would say is that with that part, Anita was helping her the whole time until she died, and which was 20 years later. And remember that Anita, more than 20 years later. But Anita she was born with a silver spoon, so she was filthy rich. So she didn't have to really do much to actually have money. So she could just go live in London and still have probably like $1 million left over to just give her and be like, "Hey, here, live life."
Yeah, that's okay. I was, yeah.
But this London one is, I get what you mean. It felt stronger in David Fincher one in that way. Yeah.
It just, I don't know. Like I said, it's not necessarily wrong. It just felt a bit weird to go, and now we're going to Australia. It's like, okay, cool.
About to go to prison, so it doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, they don't explain like how he was about to go to prison, and they didn't explain how Henry kind of like, because he still did prison time.
Yeah.
But
how do you leave the country and go to Australia when you're about to start a prison?
Yeah, that's quite weird.
Yeah, because yes, it was possible, but they didn't explain it because they was just like, oh, that's not important. So they didn't put it in the film. But obviously, Henry has a lot of power and a lot of money and private planes and all sorts of stuff. So he could have, and he just, like you were saying, he just solved a serial killer kind of murder, cold case murder. So he also could have got immunity, whatever. He could have got certain legal lax regulations where he could have done that because his case was just slander. It's not that he killed someone or something.
But that's what he thought, and then
Yeah.
he still goes to prison anyway.
But yeah, he still goes to prison. I was confused. Because I remember originally as well, I was thinking, I thought he was going to get him out of it, but he wasn't able to get him out of it. And I think at the time, because in the book, it explains it more in the book, but I think he purposely said, look, it's okay. I'm all right with going through this. I'd rather you put more money into X, Y, and Z or put more money into Millennium or whatnot. But they don't really explain that in the film.
See, that's something I wasn't sure was in the extended version, because like in the Fincher version, he expressly kind of goes, I'm going to give you something that's going to take Wennerstrom like down, and he actually has like a negotiation meeting with Erica and stuff, and I'm like, he seems more involved, like Mikhail has kind of more of a reason to be involved with this sort of stuff. But like that's none of that's in like the Swedish version that I watched. Like he doesn't, I don't know, it just goes like, I'll pay you loads, and that doesn't seem to be like a element for him.
Yeah, it's like it happens off camera. I mean, everyone else can chip in as well.
Hmm.
But it's like, yeah, like you said, they don't have that meeting there. Like we find out the same time Bloomquist finds out. It's just like, oh wait, you're investing in Millennium? Yeah, I'm a sucker for lost causes. Just like, oh, okay. I thought you were just paying Bloomquist for his job and helping him out with like Venison, like in terms of the court case or in terms of money or whatever. But I didn't know you was helping Millennium.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Like, I think this is how I want to sum up kind of like the Swedish and American versions. The Swedish version isn't. Sorry, I'm obviously this is with the addendum that I didn't watch the extended version, but the Swedish version isn't wrong. It just doesn't clarify a lot of stuff. The American version also isn't wrong, and it does, and it clarifies like a lot in like a kind of similar sort of time frame. It's just the Swedish version seems a little bit thinner on the ground with what it's presenting, and none of it is necessarily bad. It's just not as strong as it is in the American version.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the security guard when they go in his room and he's got all them papers stuck on the walls and it's like a complete fucking mess. Like, how the fuck did you get all this paper? Because no one took it in there. He kind of like goes from being, oh, I've got this information, and then they know, like, what? It's like, how would you believe, mate? Because that's the
Or
thing, he's
Bill
been
would have,
arrested
likely.
for making shit up, and he gets put in prison for it, and then he instantly goes, yeah, this is more shit on this person. How they would go, what? Like, I don't think you'd believe it straight away, but it kind of goes a bit, I think it's just for convenience. They just go, yeah, he's fucked them over and they're gonna get fucked by him. Yeah, they kind of go a bit quick.
This is a
with
bad
that.
thing to say just casually in reference to this film.
Well, get fucked.
He's just going to get fucked by him. So,
So, you see what I mean? It's the fact of he goes from having all this information and they kind of just believe him. But I don't know.
Nah, I don't know. But what's your favorite scenes, Ben? What's your favorite scenes?
I think that's quite a hard one for me.
I've been trying to think about it the whole time, and
Most
I
depressing scene, you mean?
I'm trying.
Rob personally liked the bit where he kicks him in the ass. They make a metallic sound.
Yeah, the dildo scene.
Dang.
Let me think. I think this the everything leading up to the point where Elizabeth finds out the truth before he what's his name drives off in his car and she drives himself to death. I think that was just an incredibly tense and exciting moment. Just how it builds the tension and the horror of what's going to happen and what could happen to Michael, and Elizabeth finding out, oh, this is what her suspicion was right all along. It was this guy, and obviously the whole family was so messed up and corrupt anyway. But this girl was the worst, and obviously she has to get there in the nick of time and basically stop him from literally killing Michael. And obviously the scene afterwards is quite telling as well, when she literally races and follows him in the car, and he literally crashes himself, and she kind of just watches him burn and die, and she's like, she could have saved him but she didn't. So it's a bit like the Batman situation where he's like, I could save you but I won't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that, and that's the way it's just like, everything that's happened to her in the past, you can see why she wouldn't want him to live, because he's just
definitely. It's just like, why would many people save him? I don't know, unless they wanted him to suffer, I guess, in jail. Both are valid ways for him to be punished. But yeah,
in her mind, she's like, oh, he still could probably get himself out of jail eventually or something. He could be.
Yeah, he's a fucking he's a CEO. Like.
Yeah. So there was always that risk. So she's like, no, I'd rather him burn to death.
Yeah, because the thing is, you know that he is like pure fucking evil filth, and he kind of deserves it. So you kind of like, yeah, he don't even deserve to breathe.
He does.
Like, I've never heard anyone say filth with two F's.
Filth. I think that because when they build it up, when he's talking to him and he explains all the things that he's done and all the women, and you see it and you're like, actually, yeah, he does deserve this.
Yeah. And the fact that his character has the goal, or as we said, the unmitigated goal, or unmitigated audacity. Unmitigated audacity. Can't say it right. To ask for help. This is like, yeah, I just tried to kill your friend. I was just about to torture, rape, and kill you too.
Hello.
And you're also a Nazi. But can you save me? Hey, can you help me out? Pat comes in. Yeah, Pat, I'm not a Nazi, don't worry.
I didn't believe it for a second.
I'm gonna kill and torture and rape you too. Hello.
Hi, Pat.
You're next.
Where do you live, Pat?
Norway.
Oh God, not Norway. I think that's even more depressing than this film.
Oh man.
This film is a work of art, but it's not for the faint heart.
Oh yeah, you Pat, you say your views. Like, say how you felt about it.
Oh fuck! I shouldn't have turned up.
Performance anxiety.
You say you wish you hadn't turned up to film club to talk about a film.
To be fair, I've had to race home from Hammersmith. I only left there like an hour and a half ago.
Can I just say, I'm so glad you got home so fast just for that moment. That was beautiful.
For that moment, I don't know.
It's good.
First time today, I'm tongue tied.
I can't believe that happened.
Well, it's a 3-hour foreign film. One of the issues I did have, and it's probably one of the things why Ben enjoyed it so much, is it being split.
Yeah.
because
It could be a mini series, couldn't it?
Yeah,
It could be a mini
that's why
series.
I liked it because
Yeah.
it works as a good long form slow burner.
A
And I
good
think it
form,
builds
long
tension
form,
for being-
slow burn.
the problem I had was I was sort of it takes you a little while to get into, and then once you're fully immersed in what's in front of you, it's like, oh, end of episode 1. Like, oh well, thanks.
Yeah, that was a weird thing done by the BBC. Like the original one isn't cut into 2.
No. When I first saw it, it was the whole thing, but I think it was only like 2.5 hours rather than the 3.
Well, this is the weird thing though, right? Because it's also split on your Blu-ray, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird.
What?
Yeah, the Blu-ray is episodic.
I was beginning to doubt whether we should have it as a film,
Oh, that's controversial.
just because
Right.
they have it as a
Fucking hell.
6-part miniseries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's-
I am going to put it out there and say that the remake was the first film.
Wait, what?
What do you mean?
The David Fincher remake, I would count as to say that was the actual film where this was a TV series.
But what
Interesting.
came out first? I think the original
Yeah.
Well, the,
theatrical cut came out in cinemas first, so it's a film.
Oh,
Oh god, I think Alex is gonna die by the end of this.
Wait, Pat, do you so on your Blu-ray, so it's split into episodes, but do you have like the theatrical cut as well?
no, it's just giving me option to watch part 1 or part 2.
Yeah,
So you don't even have the option for watching the actual theatrical.
No, it's
I've
not.
got to stop saying actual theatrical.
The only other options I have is to watch it in its native language or to watch a shitty dub.
Yeah.
The dub
That's
is very
okay.
shitty, actually. I will find some clips of the dub.
No,
Really?
I've already seen the dub. I don't need to see it again.
It's just for posterity. I think.
Oh,
The
man.
dub is
Emmanuel,
out
have you
of
ever
time.
seen? Have you ever seen the dub?
No.
Oh,
I
you're
never
in for a
watched the
treat.
dub for anything.
The dub remix.
You'll like the dub, I swear.
There's only 2 things with dub was that I personally watched that were ever good. Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
Because
Dragon
that's not
Ball.
actually dubbed, that's just voiced. And then actually no, sorry. Yeah, the 3 things: Dragon Ball Z, Final Fantasy Advent Children, and the
Pokemon.
third one is actually Leon the Professional. The Italian dub is really good. If you have a chance, watch the first the part up to where he catches the guy and the kind of prostitute runs out.
What made you watch the Italian dub?
It was an accident.
Oh.
My version of it, the default language was Italian.
Oh, that's weird.
And the thing is, since they were obviously they're from Italian backgrounds anyway, and they can actually the characters in the story anyway, they could speak Italiano. So I thought they were just speaking Italian for most of it, for that part of it. And then I realized I saw this lady before the prostitute kind of ran out, and I was thinking, wait, she doesn't look Italian, or it looks like she would be able to speak it that well. But she did it really well. And then I realized it's like, wait a minute. I looked at the language. I was like, what are you showing, Alec?
Oh no, carry on with your story. I was just trying to get the lighting right.
Okay. And I was just like, wait. And I saw the default languages. It's like, oh, this is meant to be in English this whole time.
Bless you.
But the dub would, bless you.
No, I did it already. Bless you again.
Bless you again.
I thought you froze for a minute.
but yeah, the dub on that was the Italian dub on that was so good that I didn't realize they weren't actually speaking Italian.
That's quite
Mamma
impressive,
mia.
to be fair.
You played the dub, no?
I played the dub.
Dub, dub.
Played the fucking dub.
I don't dub.
I'm Miss Svensson from the probation department. I'm calling to inform you that you have a new guardian. His name is Niels Bjorkman.
I don't think I hear that.
Please, let me finish. Your previous
Are they They didn't use the actual actors' voices either, did they?
No, it's a completely different audio.
What?
Alec, if
Alex,
you send that, I can
yeah, I
share
was
it.
gonna say.
Oh yeah, do that.
Yeah,
That's a
I
way
think
Yeah.
better thing than I was doing.
Yeah.
What I find weird whenever you get dubbed, that's not done by the actual actors who can speak English. Literally, all the actors, all the main actors, I swear, in this could speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like, why didn't you just get them to speak English if you're gonna have a dub? Like,
Can you play this? Yeah, play this 1 second because it's possible. This is the one I openly laughed at.
Right, so the one that you've sent second is the one that I'm playing first.
No, play the first one first and the second one second.
Right. Okay. Why did you cut me out? Then?
I wonder if this is bad as Squid Game's dubbed. I've seen
No,
clips
nothing is as bad as that.
of-
The Snyder cut in English is not as bad as the dub of Squid Game.
Would you
Oh,
fuck
no.
off?
That's a compliment.
You're always bringing Snyder into it.
Yeah.
I've had enough of it.
Always bringing Schneider.
I still need to
A
watch
fart
this.
and a Weetabix.
Oh, man.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
Don't mute it.
Yeah, I can't see that. Why is it disappear? Hang on. Let me try and start again. It's not showing me the options for some reason. Hang on.
In the
I've got an
box.
eye. All right, there we go. I've got it. Right, I'll do that again.
Right, let's actually pay attention.
Let's pay attention.
Let's pay attention.
Honestly, I'm so excited for the reaction to the second one. It's just disgusting.
There we go. You should be able to hear that now.
What is this? Please, let me finish. Your previous guardian has had a stroke and is in hospital. We had no choice but to replace him.
It's not as noticeable in that one.
Please, Salanda? Yes, hello, this is Anna Svensson from the probation department. I'm calling to inform you that you have a new guardian. His name is Niels Bjorkman. I already have a guardian. What is this? Please, let me finish.
What?
Your previous guardian has had a stroke and is in hospital. We had no choice but to replace him.
That voice did not match her.
Oh,
So-
no.
Can you play the second one though? The second one's really funny.
That was the second one.
That was the second. Fuck it.
The second one was better, yeah. Oh,
No. No. The actual second one that I sent.
That is the actual second one.
No, it wasn't.
It was. It's the one.
No, it
where-
wasn't. I just played it.
Videos, Alec.
I just played it.
I played two.
Right.
good.
Play that one. Play the
He
one I
played
just sent.
both.
No, he
He played
didn't.
both.
Oh,
He got the
you
point.
didn't send both. That's why.
Yes, I did.
Well, I've got two of the same
Oh,
now.
fucking hell.
No,
William.
the one
Oh,
that you
no.
just sent is the one that I just
Look.
played.
Did you just play the one with him in it? The Guardian in it?
The one where she's like, "Don't interrupt me."
No. Play the one with the Guardian in it.
He did.
No, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't get
It
this
was
one.
20
Yeah.
seconds.
No, he didn't.
No, the 4-second one.
Yeah, no, I didn't get this one.
No, he
There you
didn't.
go. Well, I'm hearing conflicting things now.
I don't know.
I'm just following a crowd.
Oh, yeah, this is a different one.
Okay,
So
well, you
the-
all just talked all over it.
Blah, 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 blah.
Nice to meet you, even under these unfortunate circumstances, please say.
The mouth.
It's like, it's not a race, man. Nice to meet you, even if it is under unfortunate circumstances. Take a seat. Jesus.
That's so bad. Like, you're meant to change the script. So, like, if it doesn't work with the mouth, you reduce the words. Come on. You're
Oh,
like,
that's why.
I'm reading off the script really fast. Actually, what Ben did was probably more accurate.
Blah,
Do
blah,
you
blah.
reckon they
I
just like,
suppose that's why
started
they needed
dubbing
the
it?
remake.
Do you reckon they started dubbing it and someone was like, "There are a lot less syllables in Swedish. We're gonna have to."
Oh, Swedish language is insane.
Rob,
Just
do you-
like the idea that you were the director of the dub and you went, that's fine. Everyone go home. I can't be bothered.
Rob, do you think they watched the dub and were like, oh, we're gonna have to remake this?
You gotta make another
And-
film.
And to be controversial to Emmanuel, they remade the English language remake was probably better than the original film.
Oh, fucking hell.
We've already had that
People.
take today.
Oh, have we? Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so
We're here.
even though John's not here John, both me and John really dislike the David Fincher one, but you, Rob, and Alec prefer. Is it you as well, Ben? I can't remember.
No, I prefer the original.
Okay, but yeah, Alec, Rob, and you prefer David Fincher one.
There's not a lot in it. Like, I love the original. I love the original trilogy, and I kind of wanted the.
Sorry, I
After
thought you
that-
meant there's
after that
not a
remake.
lot in the Swedish version.
There's definitely a lot.
I
in
wanted
it.
them to remake 2 and 3 in English as well, but obviously they decided to reboot it with a completely different director and different cast. So that's why I haven't watched that yet.
It's not even just that. Like, because of how it was received, there was a lot of mixed reviews, and we talked about the kind of different ways David Fincher approached it. And it worked for certain people, but there was a lot of people who literally walked out the cinema with the David Fincher one. And I'm talking more about like mainstream film goers. So there were
There
a
weren't
lot
enough Spider-Men in it. That's why.
But yeah, there was basically, because of how it was received and a lot of things around it, he didn't, it seemed like he didn't want to then make a second and third one. So eventually.
No, he did. The
Oh,
studio
he did.
didn't. He was all in, and so was Rooney Mara and Daniel Craig. But
Okay, there you go. The studio
the
didn't
studio
believe.
said no.
And what studio ended up taking it to doing the fourth film?
Only, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. Who did the first one? What studio?
Give me one sec.
Can't remember.
Thanks.
Look on his Blu-ray.
Does anybody know who did this?
Give me one
It
second.
was.
But that makes sense, because if the studio looked at like the money it made and how much they spent and was just like, this didn't really do well. This was
That was Sony
mixed.
as well. It was Sony
Oh.
as well.
Okay,
The
so
Sony
they
one.
basically still wanted to make it, and they liked the story. They just didn't trust David Fincher to basically do another one.
Which is a lame
Yeah, they're
excuse.
idiots. They're fucking
So they
idiots.
got a completely inferior set of people to
Yeah.
do it again.
Right.
Fair enough. Like, I agree that that was the thing. Like, even though I didn't agree with how he did it, how he did everything, I loved a lot of what he did in his approach to it. That was the thing. Yes, there were bits I really didn't agree with, but I really liked everything else about it. So it was kind of disappointing when they made the fourth one and the whole cast is different, all the style, everything's different. I was just like, I mean, it's okay. Like, at the end of the day, it gets the story across, and they do. The thing is, and this was the thing, obviously, about David Fincher and the original one. They both, in their own ways, adapt the book well enough to give you a good understanding of what's going on, or enough of an understanding of what's really going on. But having read the book, the fourth book, the fourth remake, they missed so much. It was kind of, it was okay-ish as a film, but it was just like,
They made another remake.
they make another one, you said?
Did you know? I said they made another remake.
No, it's
I think he meant the.
Oh, what?
I think he meant. I'm not too sure what you meant.
Yeah.
You said the fourth
'Cause
one
you-
was a remake.
Yeah, because you said the full remake.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, fuck.
It's been remade 4 times.
Yeah, no, it's not Dune. Actually, that's been only remade 3 times. But anyway,
Was it a PG version?
what, PG version.
Yeah, they remade it so
I think
many
it was
times they
Twilight.
just it got watered down.
Actually, I'll add at the end something to say to Rob. But anyway, completely separate. Point is, yeah, like, sorry, what was since it's late, I know it's late. What were, I think, Ben, me, and Dan said our favorite films, favorite parts. Rob, did you get to say it, or did Pat come in just before you're about to say it?
Do you know what? I honestly, I've been thinking since the start of this call what I could say for a favourite bit. I've got nothing.
No, even the bit when he meets her at the end?
No, because like I said, like by the time I got to that point, I was like, I'm already so miserable. I see the significance of this, but I just can't have any good feeling towards it because
Oh,
It's been a rough, rapey ride to get here. And I don't feel like crying about this.
that is not a good way.
Oddly enough,
Well,
can I say my favourite scene?
No.
no!
Yeah.
No!
Wait,
Sit
The
down!
rape scene.
Nah, fair enough. Go.
oh no, he
So
hasn't got one.
I've got two. One made me laugh, and
laugh. You
No.
laughed at it.
no, you'll see what I mean when I get to
You
it.
did the bit where he got shot in the head.
No. So one of my favourite scenes was when Elizabeth got her own back on her parole officer.
Yeah.
He just everything that she did to him was completely justified, and I was like, "Yeah, fucking take that, you rapey cunt."
Language.
There
You
goes
can
that
you can choose to
monetisation for
bleep
another
that bit
week.
out if you want.
That's valid.
So I was quite happy with how that scene played out. The other one was they spent the whole time trying to figure out what had happened to this girl who apparently got abducted and potentially is dead. And then they were like, "Oh, these guys didn't kill her," and then just randomly found her. So you spent basically 2.5 hours trying to find what happened to her, and then like that.
No, that.
I found that really funny. I was just laying there watching it. I was just in hysterics.
It's a bit like that bit from the animated Justice League. I think it's the animated Justice League where like
Yeah.
Green Lantern and the Flash turn up and they're like, "Wow, you know Batman," and the other one's like, "Yeah, he's over there."
But like that doesn't take away from the film. It just really tickled me.
I mean, it's quite similar to Alec. Alec, I'm surprised he didn't chime in now. Like earlier, he was just like, "Wait, Australia? What? You were here this whole time? Like not London or something? Just Australia? Okay, you just go into Australia. She's there,
And
all
then
right."
she just voluntarily comes back to what she ran away from. Obviously, I know
Or the
her
person
uncle's dead, but
Yeah, I
Fucking
mean
hell.
that's why she came back. She's like,
You got me, I'll come back.
Oh, fuck. It was the world's greatest hide and seek match.
yeah. I kept saying that. I did like that part when he went to Australia. He was just like, he almost killed me. Like look, he hung me. Like I almost died. And she was just like,
that's
"I'm not
enough.
surprised."
That's
That would
enough,
have
mate, I'll come back.
That would have fucking sucked though if he was like, I haven't told him about it yet, and then he was like, "Well, don't tell him about it. I'm not coming back. Fuck off."
Yeah. Yeah. Camilla was expecting him to say that as well.
Can I take a picture
me
to
as
show
well.
Heinrich? No, go away.
But yeah.
She went through to just be like, yeah, okay, I'll come back.
Yeah.
I got $2,000 lying around. Fuck it.
But yeah, it's still funny. I'm just like, Blomqvist went through it. He got shot at, he got guns pointed at him, he got tortured, he almost died. She's like,
He almost got raped to death by Stellan Skarsgård. Lucky guy. Oh.
and then she's just like, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm just like, but that's how messed up it is in their family. She's just like, yeah, that's pretty normal. I'm not surprised.
That is
Just
how we do.
It's just like, I think he was looking for a little bit of sympathy. And he got none from her. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, that's about right.
exactly. Sounds about
You're just
right.
not dying.
He hung me on a meat hook and she was like, "Oh, Barbara, how I missed you."
The film also glorified prison cells. How plushy was his cell?
That was
That's Swedish prison.
Yeah, that's different to UK or American prison.
Yeah, give him a laptop and the cell door being open.
That's Swedish prison. They're just really nice there.
Electronics and electricity.
the thing is,
Norwegian prison looks like a fucking uni room.
oh man, saying that, even though some of Swedish's prisons or like Nordic prisons aren't as bad, it doesn't explain it in the film, of course, but he got he got much less because of the crime he solved, pretty much. The kind of whole court cases and everything. And technically what he got done for was slander. Like he couldn't be put away for that much of time. But it was more about he could be fined a ton of money. So Millennium would go bust, but Henry helped with that so they could still keep going. But obviously they didn't explain that in the film.
I just want to say though, it's not slander, because to quote J. Jonah Jameson, slander is spoken. If it's printed, it's libel.
Slander.
Oh, quoting that guy is as just an aside, whenever he's talking in the Spider-Man games, I'm just like, oh my goodness, dude, you shut up. It's like, who's listening to your radio station? But then I think back to Jewel. James Jameson is like that radio station on Jewel. It's like the amount of crap he said. But there's people who feel the same way. So it's like, yeah, you know what?
I could respond, but I want to stop talking about Spider-Man now. I think that's me.
Anyway, does anyone want to say anything else before? Like, actually, I could say some trivia. Actually,
I was going to say I don't think I said my favorite bit, but I think I'm in the same camp as Rob here. Although
It sucked.
Although I don't want to sound like a pervert, but I did enjoy all like the things. Yeah, I know everyone's butthole just clenched there. I just felt that.
I enjoyed the bit with.
No, I liked the bit when Elizabeth had consensual sex with Mikhail.
Yes.
I thought that was really nice. I thought that was like a cool, shot of her butt. No,
That was a good
I liked it.
moment.
I liked everything about her just kind of opening up to him, and like, they're talking about she murdered Martin, and like he'd never do that, and he was like, but I won't judge you for it, and then they like hold hands and everything, and I was like, this film's fucking miserable, but that bit was really nice. Like, that's a really nice bit of why these characters are around each other, and like just to find that acceptance in him, I was like, that's a nice bit. That's a nice bit in all this horrible, murky Swedish nastiness.
So, Emmanuel, next year we're gonna have some nice bright films rather than the murky water.
Me? Bright? Okay, I'll pick
Can they be
what
in
do you
English?
call it? Shark Girl and Shark Boy.
Shark Girl and Lava Boy, let's do it.
When it comes out,
that comes under murky.
Camilla says she's not watching it with me. But one of the reasons I was laughing when you were saying that, Alec, I was just imagining Rob going, "Yeah, but it's nice and all, but it's been too miserable."
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like, you sort of where it's split into episodes. I think after the first episode, I should have like seeked some counselling to set me up for the second, and then I might have enjoyed the last bit. But
I'll do this just like a wing of the therapists, like just for that. It's like, have you seen the first bit of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? They're right this way. That's fine. You don't have to pay us. It's good.
Oh man, that's funny. But ask some kind of random trivia before we wrap up. What I said to everyone else before, Pat, in case you didn't know, kind of similar to Rooney Mara, so I'm not sure if she took kind of inspiration from Nimmer Pace, but she approached it in kind of a method actor type way. So for 6 months before, her diet, the way she dressed, she got piercings, got a motorcycle license, and all sorts of stuff just to prepare for the role.
Yeah, I read that as well.
Yeah, just really great. The mother, I didn't realize this last time. What? Oh, just what you were showing.
I was waiting for Ben to react, but he never did.
I am.
Oh, okay. I am reacting right now. Sorry.
The mother, I didn't realize this until today, but the mother in the film was her real mom. Was then we replaced.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah, she's only acted in the films where she's acted in. So literally the 3 Girl with the Dragon Tattoo films,
Right.
her mom always plays her.
Oh, I thought you meant she's only acted in the film she's acted in, and I was like, yeah, you could say that for everybody then.
Yeah, nah. But
Oh, wait a
I
minute.
just-
Oh, wait.
I've only acted in all
realised
the
it.
films I've acted in.
Like, no, it was a CG version of me, like in the Star Wars film. With that. Anyway, I just find that kind of cool with the touching scene of like when she was like saying how she'd been abused and how she was touching her, connecting with her. I was just like, oh, that was her real mom. That's really cool. But a random thing about the music. The music was recorded in 4 days for like all 3 films, which was crazy. And all the music weighed 33 kilos, like the paper for it.
Oh, right.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Music doesn't weigh anything.
That was literally what's going on in my head, and I was like, that's a lot of music. That's a lot. That's a lot of an intangible concept there to weigh 33 kilos.
How to weight off his
half
mind.
Camilla's weight, half a body
Jesus.
in just paper of music.
Oh my God.
I found this kind of cool. It's just like a drinking alcohol fact. The 20.
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate whiskey, even though I don't like the taste of alcohol. But the 21-year-old Irish single malt whiskey was the oldest single Irish single malt whiskey you could get at the time. The one that Martin offered to him. So, like, it also makes it even more suspect, like sus, the fact that if you know that, and the fact that he's giving him this, it's just free. It's like, wait, why are you giving this really expensive, valuable, like, whiskey, just a drink, like it's like nothing? Okay. I mean, but we know something's going to happen. So at that point, Bloomfist is quite slow. He only realizes it just before he gets like done in. Let me see. Oh, wait, what? Sorry, I didn't I didn't realize this. This is a random one, but the Naomi Rapace was so insistent on inhabiting her character, she bleached her eyebrows so much they eventually disappeared. And they had to be artificially applied by her makeup artist. So her eyebrows through the whole film were fake.
Oh.
Were basically.
That was a pointless thing.
And the director, but the thing is, the makeup artist never told the director. So the director didn't even know until afterwards. Just like,
I'd love to just see Noomi's just response to Ben just saying that, just like, oh, that was pointless.
In terms of like the filmmaking thing, it's like, look, they still had to add eyebrows back, so it's like you wasted her effort there.
That'd have been great if there was like a scene and it's just kind of like, Lisbeth is quizzical in this scene. Why are you looking like that? No,
but yeah, oh, that's too funny. But
Lisbeth is angry in this scene.
Oh man. Oh, but yeah, other than that, like one of her shirts was basically just a heavy rock band from Scotland in like 1996. And most of the actors in the Swedish one were also in Wallander.
Yeah.
Other TV show. But yeah. That's all I have to say about it. If like I would say to Dan as well, to anyone, I would recommend, if you do get a chance, watching the other ones while they're still on BBC iPlayer. They are nowhere near as violent and gruesome and scarring as the first one.
There was
And
still
they-
a messed up moment in the end. Girl played with fire though.
Fair enough. It's not in the same way though.
Yeah, it's
Or-
not like as scarring, but it's still dark as hell.
Yeah.
Still pretty-
I always just picture you watching these movies. Like, did you ever see that Team Fortress 2 short of like the pyro? And like he's got a flamethrower and he's like killing everybody and everyone's like running. But like in his head he's like a candy drop, like like fantasy land, and he's just shooting out bubbles. It's like, yeah, that's what I picture your brain to be.
Oh, man.
It's fine.
You are the pyro.
No, I'm not the pyro. But yeah, thank you all for watching it.
I'm glad we haven't done that.
Hopefully John catches up and watches it, because I think after having experienced what he really didn't like for the English one, I think he would appreciate this one.
I think he
But-
might walk out again.
Yeah, you think so?
He'll
But
walk out
It's
his
more
hand
of a
from
chance
him.
of him watching this playback than watching the film.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty remote.
Watch the film. Anyway, yeah, I've done. Whose film is it next?
Me.
Hello.
So what's your film, Pat?
It is.
What is my film actually? Oh yeah,
It's this guy.
Insomnia.
This
Oh
one.
No, the
yeah,
one that he bought everyone.
Yeah,
I forgot because it's quite a long while ago since I got it. Now,
yeah,
thank you for sending it to us.
that's all right.
I haven't seen
Thank
it
you,
either. I remember at the time going, "Oh, I want to watch that film." But the reason I wanted to watch it was because I also was struggling with insomnia, and I was going through a lot of depression, and the film seemed quite depressive, and it dealt with insomnia as well. And I was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, this matches my mood." Let's watch this.
Funny thing,
But Never
like
got around to it.
when
January is a
first-
long month.
when I first watched it, I was in a period of time where I wasn't working, so I was staying up till like 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and I was sort of just finding myself flicking through the channels, and I saw that on BBC at like 2:30 in the morning. So I was like, I sat down and watched it, and I was sort of gripped to it. Like I really enjoyed it. It's not definitely not probably the worst Nolan film,